My name is Hunter Hayes and I'm in 1020 D1 math class, and I'm doing division of polynomials and an application problem. So we'll do an example of how to divide, explaining what a polynomial is, example of how to divide a polynomial, and the application problem. So long division is the opposite of multiplication. You divide to see how many groups are formed and to see how many are in each group when divided equally. So if you have 25 things divided into 5 groups, 5 groups, you divide in each one, so it'd be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. There's 25 dots divided into 5 groups with 5 in each group. So the answer to this problem would be 5. That is the premise of division. In a problem with this big of numbers, it wouldn't be feasible to make 24 groups and then count out 528 dots. So to do that, we use long division. And since this is the number we want to divide by, we put it under this little hat thing, where it's 528 divided by 24 groups. So the first idea is to put 24 into how many times 24 can fit into 5. 24 cannot go into 5, so you then go on to the next highest, which is 52. 24, how many times can 24 go into 52 is 24, 48, and 72. The highest number that does not go over 52 is 48. So 24 times 2 is 48, so 24 can go into 52 2 times, which leaves 48. Now with division is a lot of subtraction, so this is how you get it lower. So 52 minus 48 is 4. Next you drop your next number, which is 8. 24 can go into 48 2 times, so it's 2. 2 times 24 is 48. 48 minus 48 is 0. So 24 can go into 528 22 times. So there's 22 in each group of 24. So now that we did explanation of how to divide, we're explaining what a polynomial is. So a polynomial is an algebraic expression that consists of variables and coefficients. So a variable is a quantity that can be changed, so it is not fixed. It is usually the unknown in a problem. The coefficient is a number that is being multiplied by a variable. So a variable can be x, y, a, t, any letter that represents an unknown quantity, and a coefficient is any number. So it can be 11, 22, 543, any number that can be multiplied. And a coefficient and a constant is a number that doesn't get multiplied by a variable. So in this example, it is 9x squared plus 12x minus 6. The 9x squared is the first term, the 12x is the second term, and the 6 is the third term. The 6 being the coefficient, 6 being the constant, 9 and 12 being the coefficient, and the x and x squared are the variables. So, how to divide a polynomial? So now that you know what a polynomial is and how to divide, you divide a polynomial to test for another factor within the polynomial. So 8x to the third minus 10x squared minus x plus 3 divided by x minus 1. So this polynomial up here is the term that you want to be, is what you want to get divided, and is being divided by this polynomial. So it would go x minus 1 and 8x cubed minus 10x squared minus x plus 3. So you start off with your first term and you go x. What would you multiply x by to get 8x cubed? So, and that would be 8x squared. So you take 8x squared, multiply it times x, and you get 8x cubed. The next thing you do is take 8x squared and multiply it times -1, which is negative 8x squared. The tricky thing with polynomials is, since division is subtraction, you have to distribute the subtraction sign, giving a negative, changing that to a positive. So 8x cubed is negative. So this cancels out, and 10x squared, negative 10x squared plus 8x squared is negative 2x squared. You drop your next variable, which is negative x. To get what you would multiply x by to get negative 2x squared is negative 2x. So your next would be negative 2x. Negative 2x times x is negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times -1 is positive 2x. Then you subtract, so you distribute your negative, leaving these to cancel out, and you'd have -3. So you take negative x minus -2 is negative 3x. You bring down your positive 3, and then x times what equals negative 3x, and that would be -3. So -3, and -3 times x is -3x. -3 times -1 is positive 3. Then you distribute your negative. These cancel out, and this is 0. You end with your next factor. So 8x squared minus 2x minus 3 is a factor of 8x cubed minus 10x squared minus x plus 3. So your answer to this equation would be 8x squared minus 2x minus 3. So the next would be the application problem. The area of a rectangular solid is given by the polynomial x to the 4th minus 10x cubed plus 27x squared minus 4x plus 28. The length was given as x minus 7. What is the width? So in step 1, you'd identify all your main components. So you're trying to find the area. So you know that's area equals width times width. So then you go on to see that your area is equal to, so area equals x to the 4th minus 10x cubed plus 27x squared minus 4x plus 28. So a equals x to the 4th minus 10x cubed plus 27x squared minus 46x plus 28. Your length is equal to x minus 7, and your width is unknown. So you take this information and you move it here to step 2, and you find that to find your unknown variable at area equals length times width, you have to divide each side by the known to isolate your variable. So you get A divided by length equals width. So you take your area at x to the fourth minus 10x cubed minus 27x squared minus 46x plus 28. And it's being divided by x minus 7. So you take x, what you multiply x by to get x to the fourth, and that's x to the third, which is x to the fourth. And then x to the third times negative 7 is negative 7x to the third. And you distribute your negative, and you cancel these, and this is negative 3x to the third. You drop your next term, which is negative 27x squared. So after you bring down your negative 27x squared, or your 27x squared, you then go x minus x times what equals negative 3x cubed, and that's negative 3x, and you get negative 3x cubed. Negative 3x times negative 7 is positive 21x. And you distribute, which will leave you positive and negative, canceling these, leaving you with 6x. Leaving you with 6x. So you bring down your next term, which is negative 46x. 6x. X times what equals 6x squared is 6x. So you take 6x and get 6x squared. 6x times negative 7 is negative 42x. You distribute, leaving negative and positive. So you get negative 4x. And you bring down your last term, positive 28. So negative 4x plus 28. So x times what equals negative 4x, and that'd be negative 4. So negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 7 is a positive 28. Then you distribute your negative, and these cancel, and this equals 0. So your answer to your equation is x cubed minus 3x squared plus 6x minus 4. To make sure that is correct, you come over and you go x cubed minus 3x squared plus 6x minus 4 times x minus 7. So then you distribute. X cubed minus x is x to the fourth. X cubed minus negative 7 is negative 7x cubed. Negative 3x squared times x is negative 3x cubed. Then negative 3x squared minus negative 7x is positive 21x squared. 6x times x is 6x squared. 6x times negative 7 equals positive negative 42x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And negative 24 times negative 7 is positive 28. Then you combine like terms, so x to the 4th. Then your cubes is negative 10x cubed. Then your squared factors is positive 27x. And you combine x's and you get negative 46x. Left with 28 plus 28. So, because the answer checked out, your width of the rectangle is x cubed minus 3x squared plus 6x minus 4. This is your width. Your length is x minus 7, leading to an area of x to the 4th minus 10x cubed plus 27x minus 46x plus 28. That is how you find the width.